Welcome back, guys. So in this video, we're going to be introducing samples, tonal samples into the session. All right. But before we do that, two things. Number one, your session should look like mine. Measure 1 and 2 should be just kick. Measure 3 and 4 should be full groove. All right. Now I know this groove was it's still not quite there yet. We're working on it. We're going to make it better as we go through the process. But like I said, we're going to introduce some samples today. Before we get into that part of it, you need to set up an alternative save. Make sure that you name it accordingly. Do that right now for today. Whatever day it is you're on, day 1, 2, or 3, go ahead and do that. All right, here we go. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take right here where Logic is at the bottom right corner, and I'm just going to move this. Now, you had a link in Schoology. You downloaded some files, right? I'll show you where to find those files right now. But before I do that, if you are watching this on YouTube and you're somewhere in the world or in the US and you want to follow along, just email me at Mr.o.audio@gmail.com and I will send you the files so that you can follow along with us. All right. So what we're going to do is we need to find that downloaded file. If you go right here down to the bottom, you'll see a folder. See this folder right next to the trash can? It's called Downloads. Click on that. And right here, you will see the file that you downloaded today. Intro to MIDI A loops 23. You want to grab this. You want to move it to the desktop. Drop it there. And that's just for easy access. If you don't have the download folder down here, if you don't see it like that, yours, all you have to do is click right here on the desktop, Command F, and then go over here to where it says downloads, and you will see the file right there. All right, so here we go. Let's move on. Let's open up that file we just downloaded. So here we go. Here it is. I'm going to double click, and there's the window. I'm just going to make this window a little closed off, and then I'm going to click on Logic, click here, and I'm going to bring this back. Okay, so you're going to need to make this folder, kind of small. Okay, now we need to set up, now that we have, this is a blueprint right here. This is what we have right here. We have a blueprint. So the next thing we need to do is we need to start working out an intro. So let's do that. We're going to move some samples into the session. But right now, what I want you to do is I want you to mute all of the drums, everything you have here. So see where it says kick. If you click on that, it will mute it. You can go down to the next one, mute that one, and that one, and that one. Or an easy way to do it is to click on one, drag down, and see they all unmute. So if we go back to the kick right here, click and hold mute, drag down, that will mute all of the tracks at one time. Okay, so we need to work on an intro. Let's see what we got. When you open up your folder that you downloaded with your samples in it, there's a way that you can listen to these samples first. All right, don't double click these MP3s. If you double click these MP3s, iTunes is going to open up. It's going to start playing. You're going to be going crazy trying to figure out why. So listen, this is how you do it. You click on the sample one time. See how I just clicked on it? When you hit space bar, it's going to play. Go ahead and do that before I do it. All right, here we go. There you go. So that's a piano. If you press the arrow down on your keyboard, that will go down to the next one. Watch this. You can debut them that way. Okay, so I really like the piano. I think I'm going to go back to it. I think I really like that. Now let's make this folder big for a second because there's something really important you need to know about. See right here in the title or the label of the track. See how there's a number and then letter and MAJ. So this is your BPMs, right? And then this is the key that the song is in, A major. BPMs, A major. Notice that all of the samples have the same BPMs and they're in the same key. This is not always going to be the case. For the sake of ease and for the sake of focusing on MIDI, I went ahead and picked all these samples are all from one pack. All right. So let's close this back down a little bit so it's not in our way. And let's take, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the piano and we're going to click and hold, right? Click and hold. And then we're going to drag it into Logic's sequence page and we're going to drop it where there is no track at all. Drop it. Okay, cool. Now, there's an issue, right? Maybe you haven't seen it, maybe you have, but let's look at it. So your sample, see right there, is at 100 BPMs. Your session is 120 BPMs. If I hit play with these drums, it's going to sound like a huge mess, right? So what we have to do is we need to go up to tempo. Sometimes when you drag in samples, Logic will say, do you want to change the session to the sample tempo, or what do you want to do, right? In this case, it didn't ask us. If it asked you, you can hit yes. If it didn't ask you, here's what you do. You go up here to the tempo, right? Double click it. We're going to type in 100. Now we're going to hit enter, or we can click away from the tempo, and now it's a 100. Okay, so we have somewhat of an intro. Let's see what that sounds like. So we need to set up a loop, an 8-bar loop. Okay, so set up your 8-bar loop. Here it is up here, and select all of your drums. Let's select all the drums, and let's move them back to measure 9 or 7. I'm sorry, 7. So let's hit play and see what. Go ahead and hit play and see what that sounds like before I do it, and then come back. All right, welcome back. So here we go. This is what it sounds like. See how that piano is in perfect tempo with the click? That means that we put the right tempo in, right? So that's another reason why this is important, because the sample needs to lock in with the grid, right? The grid, and it needs to lock in with the tempo. So good. We have a piano there. Let's see if we can get a little creative with this. Let's go back up to the samples right here, and maybe a marimba. By the way, guys, this is not rehearsed. I didn't pre-rehearse this. All right. I picked the samples and we're doing this together. All right. So here we go. Let's listen. Let's go to this marimba right here, and I'm going to hit spacebar. Okay, cool. Let's try that. Actually, let me see. There's a bass in there somewhere. Let's see. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Let's take this marimba right here, this second track here. We're going to drag this down to where there is no track, and we're going to drop it at measure 9. Right? So we have our little piano intro thing. We've got this marimba thing. Let's grab that bass, which is right here, sub bass. Let's click and hold that. Then we're going to drag this down, and we're going to drag it under the synth where there is no track. Drop it. Boom. There you go. Now let's see what this all sounds like with the piano intro and this. Go ahead and do that and then come back. All right, welcome back. So you know what that sounds like, right? I'm not going to play this whole thing and bore you to death. I'm just going to play from like right here and see what it sounds like. That's good. I like that. Not bad at all. Not bad, not bad, not bad. So let's start looking back at MIDI. Let's go back to MIDI. Go up here to kick. Click on mute. Drag this all the way down. And that's going to unmute everything. Now let's highlight all of the drums. Let's highlight all of it. And let's move it to measure 11. We're just going to move that. Move it to measure 11. All right. So we want this to be the measure 9 through 11. We want it to be the second part of the intro. Okay, now make sure that your session looks like this. If it doesn't look like this, then you're off. All right. Let's see what that sounds like. So let's set a cycle from 7 all the way to 13, like that. 7 to 13. Let's hit play. That's not bad. But could be better. So let's do this. Let's highlight all the drums. Let's move this to right there. Right? Well, 8 bars and 8 bars. 16 bar intro is actually a lot. It's a lot. But we're going to do it anyway. All right. So, yeah. So go ahead and listen to what this sounds like from, say, measure 1 to measure 15 right there. All right. So go do that. Go listen to it. Pause the video and then come back. All right, welcome back. So what'd you think? The intro is a little long, I think, right? So we're going to kill the length of this intro. We're going to make the piano the intro, and we're going to drag the drums back. Except this time, we're going to drag them to 9, right? And this time, we are going to leave this the way it is. The 2/4 on the floor, and then the full groove. So let's do a cycle from 9 to 13. And let's hit play. Let me stop this for a second. So this marimba is really loud and this bass is really loud. So we are going to turn these volumes down. There's 2 ways to do it. You can go to this track and turn the volume down this way. Go to this one, turn the volume down here. Or you can pull up the mixer, which is, you should know this by now, that the shortcut for the mixer is X and Command 2. We're going to hit X. And now let's hit play. And when we hit play, you're going to see the tracks down here. All right. So let's hit play. So here's the marimba. Let's double click. Actually, no, let's not do that. Let's leave it like this. So let's take the marimba and let's bring the marimba down like to right there to -4. And let's take the bass track and let's bring that down to, say, -9, -9.2, and then hit X. Now, we could have done that right here or right here, but I want you to see the mixer, okay? So let's hit play and see what that sounds like. See that? So, not bad. Let's take these two kicks right here. Let's get rid of them, right? Let's highlight all of the drums. I'm moving really fast, I know, but it's so that you don't fall asleep. Hold the Option, click and drag to the left, boom. And now we have that. So let's play this right here. I'm just going to play this from like right here with the piano into the drum thing. Here we go, hit play. Yeah, so you get the point, right? Not exactly crazy about that tempo. The tempo's a little slow, but it's all good. Let's go back to the sample folder. All right, let's see what we have with this vocal thing. Actually, let's go to this mid-range marimba thing. Let's hit play or space bar. Yeah, we can bring that in. So let's drag that, click and drag that. Let's bring that here. Except this time, let's take this mid-range marimba and let's drag it up so that the marimbas are together. And we're going to bring down the volume by grabbing this volume. We're going to bring down the volume for that new marimba to like, say, -7. And let's bring down the marimba synth down to, say, -5, 5, 7, 5, 5, around there. So let's hit play. Okay, so we got a little intro. We got a little, let's say that's a verse, right? Let's just say that that is a verse. So now that we have that, we're going to double it, right? We're going to double it by simply highlighting all of this right here, right? Now, there's 2 ways. Again, you can option, click and drag it like this and drop the mouse, and there we go. You have 2. Or you can highlight all of this, hold command, tap the letter R, boom. Now you have 2 of it. So let's just say that this is our verse, right? Say that this is our verse right here. Once the verse ends, what comes? The chorus is the next thing, right? So let's do a loop from 13 to 17 like this. See that? Because that's our next set. And let's go here and let's pull up this vocal chops thing. Click and drag it, drop it down at the bottom. Drop it like that. Cool. So let's make Logic big. We're not using the samples anymore, so we can close that window. Let's bring Logic back to its full size. And now look, you'll notice that this vocal one has a little extension in the region. So you can either cut this extension by going up to the toolbar. The shortcut to the toolbar again to the toolbox is T. And the shortcut for the scissors, which is right here. Here's the scissors. The shortcut is right there. All of the shortcuts for the tools are right there. You should learn these. We're going to talk about these. The letter I. So see how now my icon is scissors? See that? So I can go here. I can click and hold and then drag this to the left. See how it locked in perfectly? And I let the mouse go and that will cut it. I'm going to undo that. Or you can just take the scissors. When you get confident, you can go over the spot you want to cut. Click and then it's going to cut it out. You hit TT to get back to your pointer. Press delete and boom, now they're even. Press Command Z to, actually you should have done that. So if you haven't done this, if you're not following along, cut that like that so it's all even. Okay, once you've learned how to do that, hold Command, tap Z 2 times. That's going to bring back the entire file. See, it's going to undo it. And we're going to leave that like that because there is a little bit of an ending there and it needs that extra space. So we're going to leave that. So let's go back. Let's take this back to 9, right? And we're going from 9. We're doing 9 to 16. There we go. So let's hit play, or why don't you play this first, listen to it, and then come back and we'll listen to mine. All right, welcome back. So let's hit spacebar. Here comes the chorus. Ooh, see, now all of a sudden this sounds a little more interesting, Let's go to the vocal track right here, or you can go to the mixer X and let's bring that down to, I don't know. Let's see, bring it down to wherever you want to bring it down to. I'm going to bring mine down to -7. I'm also going to pan this. We talked about pan, right? When we talked about mixing and how we should view a mix, we talked about it listening to it as if it were an audio image, as if it were an image, right? So we're going to take this vocal track right here and we're going to pan it. Here's the pan knob. I'm going to close the mixer, or it can be done here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. See how it says pan? It says 0. I'm going to push up. That's going to pan to the right. I'm going to pan this to the right, about 30 plus 35, right? And now I'm going to go and set a loop from 13 to 17 right there, or 16, whatever. And I'm going to hit play. And let's see if you can hear how dramatic or how much this pan affects how this vocal sounds. All right, so let's listen. Yeah, so you see that? You see how it sent it over to the other side? So it's not completely in the center. That's the beautiful thing about being able to pan. So you're able to send things left and to the right. So while we're at it, why don't we take this mid-range marimba? Let's go to this pan. Actually, before we pan this, I want you to hear the difference. So hit play. I'm going to hit play. And when I'm done, you should pause this and hit play as well so you can hear it on your side. So let's listen. So see, now that vocal chop is on the right, right? Now let's take this mid-range and let's pan that 15 plus 15, so 15% to the right. And let's take this marimba synth and let's pan this 20 minus 20 to the left. Okay. Now I'm going to play this and you're going to hear a difference in the image now. Watch. See how much different it sounds? What I want you know what? I'm going to stop right here. But before I stop, I want you to just spend the next 10 minutes, right? Take the next 10 minutes and experiment panning these things to the left and the right, and see if you can get an image that you're happy with. Normally, bass stays in the center. Or I would normally just go like 5%, plus 5%, or minus 5, but I usually don't go any further than that. But anyway, guys, have fun, man. Take some time and just kind of play around with this pan. Get this little hook section or this image sounding nice, and then we're going to come back, of course, with some more videos. Hopefully you're having fun. If you have any questions, come see me at my desk. If you're watching this somewhere in the world, my email is mr.o audio@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm out.